Hey guys, welcome back. I know you just probably got done, well, depending on what order you did it in, got done with the Chapter 7 assessment. So this 8.1 adding and subtracting polynomials is pretty light. It's not too bad, so we'll just add this into this week and then we'll keep moving along. So yeah, adding and subtracting polynomials is the name of the game. Some things to look over. A polynomial, it's just a mathematical expression of one or more algebraic terms, each of which consist of a constant multiplied by one or more variables raised to a non-negative integral power. So this non-negative is important, okay? It can't, the exponent can't be negative. If it is, then it's not a polynomial. A monomial is just a mathematical expression consisting of a single term. So an example would be like 3x, or maybe just like 7, something like that. A binomial is a mathematical expression consisting of two terms, and then it's either got a plus or minus sign in there. So maybe you have 4x minus 5, or z squared plus 2, something like that, okay? And a trinomial is a polynomial with three terms. So an example would be 3x squared plus 2x minus 5, or 4y to the 5th minus 3y squared plus 1. So something like that. That's a trinomial. So the degree of a polynomial, it's the greatest, so when we're talking about the degree of a polynomial, it's the greatest degree of any term in the polynomial. So like for this one, the highest degree was 5, or for this one, the highest degree was 2. You can find the degree of the polynomial by finding the degree of each term. So polynomials are named based on their degree. You've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or more, and they call them constants. And then it's linear for 1, quadratic for 2, cubic for 3, quartic for 4, and 5 is quintic, and then anything above that we just say 6th degree, 7th degree, and so on. So let's take a look at some examples down here. Is this a polynomial? Yeah, it is. It's got two terms. We're going to look and try and find the degree. The highest degree we have here would be 1. These are all like 1s right here. So the degree is 1. And the name would be linear, or this would be a binomial. The next one, negative 6.5. This one doesn't have a variable beside it, but it is still a polynomial. This one would just be, the degree would be 0, and we would call this a constant. Or you could call this a monomial. So a constant or a monomial. This third one, it's got this -3 up here, which this turns into 7 over a cubed, which means that this is not a polynomial. We said up here that it had to be, that it could not be raised to a non-negative integral power. So this one's not a polynomial. So we'll just put a dash and a dash through that. All right, and the last one, 6x cubed plus 4x plus x plus 3. Yes, this is a polynomial. And its highest degree, well, the highest degree is right here. It's a 3. That's the highest degree. This one is, there's a 1 right here, and there's a 1 right here, and this one doesn't have, this is to the 0. So this would be highest degree of 3. And the name of it, well, 3 would be cubic, or this one, Technically, this is kind of a bad example. This is a trinomial. Only because I can combine the 4x and the x. So this would be x cubed plus 5x plus 3. So there's only three terms. There's only 1, 2, 3 terms, which is why it's a trinomial. But they didn't simplify it over there. So kind of tricky. Okay, not too much left. We're going to show you how to add and subtract them, and then we're going to talk about standard form, and that's it. So standard form of a polynomial has the terms in order from greatest to least. In this form, the coefficient of the first term is called the leading coefficient. So let's kind of break this down. So right here, this first term is called the leading coefficient. That's what this is. This 4x cubed is the leading coefficient. The highest degree is the 3. Highest degree is the 3. And then this 7 off here to the side, this is our constant. All right, so it says for the first example, write each polynomial in standard form and identify the leading coefficient. So that just means put it in order from biggest to smallest. So this one has a 5, so this one's gonna go first. So 4x to the 5th power. What's the next highest term? Well, this has a 2 in it. So we'll write plus 3x squared. Is it still going? Sorry about that. So the next term is 3x squared, which leaves us with the last term, minus 7x. So this is written in standard form. So from biggest to smallest. All right, so for B, we've got 5y minus 9 minus 2y to the 4th minus 6y cubed. And this one's going to be the biggest term. So we're going to put that out front. And you're always going to carry whatever sign is in front of it, okay? So this minus 2y to the 4th, that goes out front. I'm going to cross that out. What's the next highest term? Well, this 6y to the 3rd power. Cross that term out. And then you got these last two left. If it has a variable, it means it's to the 1st power. If it doesn't, it's considered a constant. So we're going to put this plus 5y. If it doesn't, and you notice how the 5y doesn't have any like plus out here. I just know it's positive because there's no negative beside it. So I'm going to put plus 5y, and then the last one would be minus 9. That's it. So this is standard form. All right, okay, so in these next two examples, we're just going to be adding and subtracting. So for the first one, find each sum. So this is pretty much combining like terms. So I'm gonna box everything that has the same degree, the same degree. So this 2x squared and this minus 4x squared, these can be grouped together. So what's 2 plus a negative 4? Well, 2 plus a negative 4 would give me negative 2x squared. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look for more common terms. Oh, I see this plus 5x and plus 6x. These are the same terms. So I can add these together. This will be plus, what's 5 plus 6? So that's 11. So plus 11x. And then the last one, I'll make a triangle for this one. So I've got minus 7 plus 3. So negative 7 plus 3, which would be a negative 4. And notice how I wrote it in standard form too. So it's from biggest to smallest. All right. So let's look at the next example. I've got this polynomial plus this polynomial. So I'm going to look for the biggest term, which I see is this y cubed. So I'm going to put a box around y cubed and a box around 2y cubed. And when you add these two things together, what's one, there's an invisible 1 right here. What's 1 plus 2? Well, it's just 3. So this would be 3y cubed. Now we got to do the squares. There's only, looks like there's only one of them right here. I don't have any other term to combine that with, so I'm just going to write it plus 4y squared. Now I see I've got my y's left and my constants left. So let's do a triangle for those. So a 3y plus negative 4y would just be minus y. And then lastly, these terms, the constants, what's negative 5 plus 8? Well, that's just a positive 3. That's it. All right, let's look at subtracting. So subtracting is a little different. See how there's a subtraction sign here? Pretend that there is a negative 1 right here, and we're going to have to distribute that negative 1 to this term, to this term, and to this term. So if I rewrite it, what we end up getting is 3 minus 2x plus 2x squared. And then I'm going to get, what's a negative 1 times 4? Well, that's just minus 4x. What's negative times a negative? Plus 5. And what is a negative 1 times a 3? Minus 3x squared. So now I can combine these things together. So what we get, let's do our x squareds first. 2 plus negative 3 would just be a negative x squared. And then let's do our x's. Let's do circles. Combine those, a negative and a negative is a bigger negative, so you get negative 6x. And the last one, 3 plus 5, it's just 8. And that's in standard form, so just a little side note. Make sure you put these in standard form. So from greatest to least. All right, and the last one, I'm going to do the same thing. There's a negative 1 here that I'm going to distribute to each of these terms. So if I rewrite it, I get 7p plus 4p cubed minus 8. And then this turns into a minus 3p squared minus 2. And then negative 1 times negative 9 would be a positive 9p. And then when I combine these, let's look for the biggest term first. Looks like it's that one. I don't have any other term to combine it with, so I'm just going to write it here, 4p cubed. What's next? The squares. I don't have anything to combine that with, so I'm going to write minus 3p squared. Just my p's, it looks like now. 7p and 9p would be 16p. And the last one, our constants, negative 8 and negative 2 is a negative 10. So that's it. All right. Let me know if you guys have any questions about adding and subtracting polynomials, and I will talk to you soon.